Yeah. People like to always like there's always yeah, Gen Alpha, yeah, Gen Alpha. People always say that Gen Alpha, oh yeah, 75% of Gen Alpha kids can't read or whatever, or something like that. Like that is a huge percentage of people really think. No, it's like people think a huge amount of people think they're really that dumb. No, actually, it's a huge amount of people that people think are dumb. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, social media. Like I've seen, like interesting. There's a meme that says, when I see the most hateful, bigoted, and downright brain dead art that was made by a person instead of being AI slop." Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Like, like honestly, Gen AI seems soulless now, but I have a sense it may have been charismatic back then. I guess there's this subreddit called Weird Dally. Weird Dally is interesting because it's basically it's basically like people generating like AI images for the for to just to fucking laugh at it. Like there's yeah, this. Yeah, Staircase to the Moon now open to the public, and you find it on QC News. And it's like visitors can now climb the climb the 238,855 mile structure. It's like, can you imagine actually maintaining a staircase to the moon? Yeah, it's like, yeah, this is actually like trying to debate a question actually. Brazil flag. Problem with AI looking too good is that it's more resource intensive, and because so many people are using it, it's kind of like, how about just leave it up to what if we leave it up to the shit posters who do it, and not actually incorporate AI into our daily lives, make it so it's like only allowed for shit posting purposes, and with very limited people, I think. Okay, like Weird Dali has been around since people have found out about Dali. Okay, it was created June 8, 2022. Okay, yeah, it kind of is nighttime. holy shit, it's 4:55 in, like, yeah. Interesting one, put the AI slop prompt, and it's it's interesting. AI slop TM quality content zero soul, made fast, made cheap, made to forget, volume over value, trends, new slop every minute, ingredients, overused concepts, stolen styles, emotional manipulation, keyword soup, human apathy. Interestingly enough, it's actually an AI picture. That's the irony here. 100% engagement bait, handle with indifference, critical thinking, do not use. And then there's an AI slave. Be prepared to stock up for the apocalypse, stock up on our pepper meals. So, yeah. There's something interesting about Weird Dali, you know? Just a normal Japanese guy in his parrot doing stuff in his Godzilla parrot diffusion. I wonder when AI was like really weird. And it wasn't forced upon every aspect of social media. It was supposed to be. It was when I first heard of Dali Mini. I did some funny prompts like a Shrek skydiving into Saturn. Now, honestly, actually, anyone can draw Shrek skydiving into Saturn. That's like the alternative, is you can just pick up a pencil and draw Shrek skydiving into Saturn. But the interesting thing about how Weird Dali does it, how Dali does it, is like it made it look kind of surreal, kind of looking. Godzilla's grandmother throwing a cord note at a fat cow that's going down an elevator backwards. Mm. Mm. Anti-mammal propaganda. What the world would look like without the asteroid strike that elevated the rodents. Yeah. Time travelers from 2006, but they can only travel 20 years into the future. Yeah, it looks weird. Funny how the guy holds the app. It's astonishing how it's astonishing how it could actually like spell in pictures. It's interesting, and like this license to gaslight picture generated by Google Gemini. Like you can see right here, like there's there's very little errors for the text. Even the small text looks perfect. But yeah, Laurel and Hardy as Batman and Robin. No longer here. Yeah, generally AI art looks like fucking ass, honestly. But what made the old AI core special, basically from 2006 to 2022 or 23, is that it was supposed to be like shit posting. Oh, it was supposed to be like funny shit posting, like yeah, it's supposed to be like that. I think that's this. Then again, I don't know for sure if that's even a moral thing to do. Because I'm well aware that even like AI image generation, even the older ones, are basically fed from like people who made artwork from back then. hmm Now the AI bubble, it seems to be bursting. Okay, it does seem to be bursting a bit. Companies just can't continue operating these AI data centers anymore. They try to make it way too good. They basically try to make it way too good, and it's just unfeasible. They compare this to like the Tower of Babel. Yeah, new article on how unbelievably inept current AI systems are. Yet we are told that AGI's in a singularity may have already started. Feel free to share links to AI bloopers I have somehow misenjoyed the chuckle. And then someone quote tweeted exactly all the current AI systems are inept and should not be used for serious work. All talk of these sycophantic chatbots developing into superintelligence is a hype lie and one that has suckered the Western world. The fools might regret when the AI bubble was burst. Yeah. I'm speaking in Portuguese. It's kind of weird. Some people. Yeah. Like there's been like accounts on the internet that have been run using chatbots, trying to derive my attention away from what I'm trying to talk about. People say all these weird stuff. Either it's a chatbot or it's just some little kid who doesn't know how to use the internet or something. I just don't know. What I do know is it's pretty annoying. I do know how annoying it is. Yeah, with Grok, you used to be able to use it for free, but now you gotta pay for it. You basically gotta pay for it, and I feel the reasoning is because it's way too expensive to operate. People have been trying to build data centers, but they don't even open that up. Some of them are just left abandoned. It's crazy. And we'll see. Crusader. Hello. I don't know if I remember you, but yeah. AGI is a joke, but there was this AI film called The Reunion Journey that has surpassed $1.5 million in the Chinese box office. Yeah, that is actually a film that's like AI generated. Yeah, it may seem like the end is near, but technocracy is coming at a warp speed. Spot in Austin Airport today. TSA Ahora accept digital ID. TSA now accepted digital ID. I know a bit of Spanish, so is this like? I can give you quotes. Yeah, fear mongering has a business here, basically. Escenia key paraver tus applicaciones de digital ID. So it basically means scan here for your digital ID options, I think. For all your digital ID options, I don't know. It's like kind of translates to that. Mhm. I know governments try to do nefarious things for their own greed. Well, corporations, yeah, I think that's what corporations do. Some governments do. So, like, someone made a. Yeah, many people just don't even do the research anymore. Like, University of Texas launching digital ID program in 2027 to 28. Okay. Yeah, whenever they hear the word digital ID, it frightened. Whenever they hear the word digital ID, they get frightened. Basically, because the conspiracy theorists use the term a lot. A lot. One of the ways to start fear mongering is to make an AI image of something using a digital ID and then making it like digital ID is mandatory in such a place or something like that, and then you get all the engagement, and that's what a lot of news, a lot of that's the consequence of giving everyone a voice. Yeah, there's pros and cons to giving everyone a voice, but the cons are basically like allowing people to get away with fear mongering and all that stuff. Like old AI, by the way. Hmm. Yeah, I remember some people said I miss when AI content has its own form of pure content purely meant for fun instead of being used to replace man-made content. Yeah, like it was garbage back then, and it's still garbage. The thing is, It was like garbage before it was super garbage. But yeah, old AI art was still soulless, but it was fun because it was so terrible you couldn't take it seriously. Now it's becoming advanced enough that corporations decide they can use it over hiring human talent. Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah, it looks like some ugly ass Doge image. Mm. Preservation of historic AI models is soon going to become a necessity. I'm so glad that Midjourney still has old versions up and running, even as far back as version 1. One day we're going to revisit the time when AI effortlessly churned out surreal brilliance. Hmm. Point is, AI shouldn't be like beyond, you know, surreal and shouldn't be like something everyone uses for everything. Really like because it's been incorporated into everything, forced into everything. Everyone just fucking hates it now. Then they come up with the idea of, oh, you can make artwork using AI. No, bullshit. I ain't taking your work seriously if it's made with AI. Okay. If you make something with AI, don't expect me to take it seriously. And if you acknowledge that, then I have more respect for you. Okay? Like, now, today's generation not being able to read, I don't think has anything to do with the blaming of the efforts of the student learning or the teacher teaching or the parent trying to make sure that their children are like learning stuff. I think it has more to do with the fact that the English language relying on the Latin alphabet for so long while like allowing other languages to influence how it's been said despite the fact that it's written differently. I think that's the culprit here. Cuz like if you see like a word in English because it's like one of the least phonetic languages in the world, you kind of have to guess. Kind of have to guess what it says. Kind of have to guess on what it says. Like Xylem, you know what that spells? Xylem. Alright? Yeah, you have to use like spelling bees and stuff like that. Rendezvous. Notice how it has like a Z at the end of Rende. You know, that's because it's fucking borrowed from French. Okay. Number of people who go bankrupt every year because of medical bills, illness, related work loss. Only in America, there's like 500,000. Yeah. There's a lot of like talentless hacks that require a machine to draw for them. Basically, could have had the decency to learn how to draw, but instead they try to make artwork with quote unquote artwork with AI, and they demand we take it seriously. Like the thing is, AI generated images should never be taken seriously, and people should be expecting that. Okay? Generating a few images with DALL-E Mini, I mean, it's because they're low quality images, they're not as resource intensive as the newer models are. Basically, they're not as resource intensive, so. But then people wanted to make a business using AI for their own work and stuff, despite the fact that they're not the ones who made it. They just fucking generated it. Okay? And I got like AI generated music, and then they play this shit for commercial purposes. Dude, you can't even copyright fucking AI or music. You know, you can't copyright anything made with AI. It will never be copyrighted. It'll always be public domain no matter what. That's just the thing, and because people don't want to pay royalties to use like actual music, you know, they could have just used like royalty free music from Kevin MacLeod or something. They could have done that. And then they could just play it in their like airports or malls and stuff. But that Honolulu airport, like for example, plays like from what I've heard, it plays some sort of shitty ass AI music and stuff. A lot of music I've seen that plays throughout the stores, many of its time I just don't recognize. It's probably AI. Yeah, the history lesson is, you know, but yeah, making a prompt in a resource intensive AI model not only does it harm the environment, it also costs the company lots of money no matter what. It doesn't matter how much money they make, like the maintenance, the stuff, all that stuff to try to keep this running costs them a lot. It honestly does cost them a lot of money. Honestly. Chatbots are honestly pretty much unneeded, you know? Many people don't disclose the fact that their work is AI when it's really AI, you know? Point that out and they get mad. Like, sometimes a lot of AI bros can be like racist neo Nazis and stuff like that, or even jealous or something like that. and they use their slop in everything to promote their agenda. There are some people, some racist people out there in Europe that uses AI to edit the shop names to make it look like some foreigner runs it, when in reality it's not even run by a foreigner, just to just promote more racism and segregation. You know? It's crazy. In 2022, 2023, I was reading comments about how people are going to have an existential crisis due to the whole over reliance on AI, and I thought to myself, I ain't gonna over rely on it that much. I got the scale. I ain't. But the thing is, the AI gets shoved into your face by people who make AI videos and pretend that it's real, and then trying to find authentic artwork through the clumps of all this AI dog shit that people are trying to get them to take seriously. It's crazy. I remember there was that show Life After People, like from 2009 to 2010, they had two seasons, and then they renew it for a third season, and then they use AI for the third season. So it was kind of a sloppy season. I mean, yeah, it does look like crap. The visuals do look like crap, obviously, but I mean, the season otherwise, despite its AI slop, at least had a real narrator, at least explore different things. At least had the different decency to explore different things and how different outcomes go on. It's just the fact that they had to use, like, some people argued that to get a shot of the surroundings, they just had to use, like, AI and shit like that. Well, at least they this blows the fact. At least, what do you, actually no. At least they're open about the fact that they use that kind of AI swap kind of thing. But it raises another question: are the visual scenes in the third people of Life After People, like third season of Life After People, like copyrighted? Because you can't really copyright AI work, you know. You can't really do that. And honestly, I like how it goes in detail about events and stuff, about how things go and how things collapse over time with when people are gone, humans are gone. But the visuals just kind of look ugly. But it actually does look obvious that it kind of resembles. Sometimes it even like resembles like 2022 like types of AI videos and images and stuff like that. So you can obviously tell it was made with AI. Like even with the AI circle in the bottom, you know. Yeah. Is AI here to stay? Is Gen AI here to stay? Here's my prediction. The AI companies are gonna go under, okay? Like OpenAI is definitely gonna go under, okay? There's no way you can actually revive that OpenAI stuff. Alright, it's doomed to fail. It's doomed to fail. It's completely unfeasible. Because like making a super intelligent AI is just resource heavy, you know? I have a feeling you don't even need a coronal mass ejection to just stop its advancements. I have a feeling, I'm mostly certain. I mean, it's not a guarantee though, but I'm mostly certain that. You know, major companies, when the AI is going to cost them a lot, and then when the bubble bursts, and the bubble burst is not like some instantaneous thing, it's like the AI companies are going to crash down, and whatever's left is going to pick up the pieces, and yeah. It's basically that. Basically, I have a feeling that everybody would be owning their own AI service, I believe. I feel like everyone's gonna be able to own. Like, I do remember PewDiePie actually making like his own AI chatbot, which is actually pretty interesting. You know, like he mentions that AI art looks like ass, but like the AI chatbot, it's like the way he makes it is pretty interesting. Doesn't need like a major corporation to do it. But yeah. Many people compare AI to the Tower of Babel, from what I can tell. Like, um, yeah. Potatum says, yeah, bubble is beginning to burst thanks in part to unrelenting cascades of dissent and refusal to participate. Excellent work, keep going louder. This is our only planet. Fuck generative AI. They are not CIA bros pretending they weren't writing the AI bubble when it eventually pops. These companies are losing money every word you put into your prompts. Do I think Grok will probably come out ahead? I mean, Grok is like paywalled now. Like people use Grok to say, "Is this true?" to verify information for some reason. That's like to use Grok, you have to pay like Elon Musk some money. You kind of have to suck a bit of his dick to use Grok, basically. Yeah, a lot of people hate AI because it's like forced into every aspect of. Let's look at some. I'm gonna react to some video. The bubble has already burst, like Clownfish TV. Mm.
So, according to some experts, the AI bubble has already burst. It's just going to take us a while to feel the effects of that economically. And we're starting to see some indications that this is happening because we're seeing companies start to pull back on AI. They're pulling back on building data centers. We're seeing
Yeah.
people get disgusted and fed up with Microsoft shoving AI into all their products. Consumers are
Yeah.
sort of rejecting it. Now that doesn't mean AI doesn't have a place. In fact, somebody who uses AI, I think it's a good tool. The problem is the rollout. It's been too fast. It's not show ready, and in some cases, it's dangerous to just turn the keys over to the robot right now.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, how many examples of the robots like leaving their sandbox and just ruining people's computers, like going into things and then doing things that they were told not to do because they hallucinate they're allowed to do it. We saw the Amazon situation and all this stuff that went around with the companies
Yeah.
involved in their cloud service or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing to rely on it, and I think a lot of companies are finding out they thought they'd save money, but it's actually costing them more money, so it's not worth it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because there is a trend right now. I mean, I know everybody's like, oh, we're getting laid off because of AI, and you had like the Verizon CEO being like, oh, everybody's going to get laid off because of AI. I think the layoffs are because they're just looking to downsize. They just don't want to panic the investors. We've talked about this. But also, I think they're getting rid of some people, and they will hire more competent help, or in some cases, cheaper help. But I think
Yeah, like
some of these companies are starting to realize
AI
that,
vibe coding
we can't
is
save
part of
that
the
much money
reason
on
why
AI
I felt
because
like
even if we
using
trust the AI, we have to hire humans.
Windows
to
was
fix
pretty
shit
risky to use.
again, and it was
You're paying
Yeah.
twice.
you're paying twice, right? So you're better off in some cases, especially with the data centers and all this, to just hire humans anyway. It's not there yet. I'm not saying it won't get there, but these companies, because they're looking for cash infusions, and they're looking, to look like they know what they're doing, they're overstating what AI is currently capable of. And if you let it run everything, you're going to wind up paying dearly for it. We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
They're even using AI at the top levels of legal. You've got one of the biggest law firms, one of the most expensive law firms in the world using AI, and it's screwing up. And they had to apologize to a federal judge. So this is, ain't ready for prime time yet. So let's talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get woohoo if you do.
Mhm.
This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about the AI apocalypse, which I don't think is happening anytime soon, unless we give it the nuclear codes and then. That's a different kind of apocalypse. So yeah, I've been talking to people about this for a while now. As someone who does use AI, it needs a babysitter. You have to know what you're doing with it. It needs a human operator. Not everybody is going to get gone. Basically, what it's going to allow people to do is do more with less, right? But you still need a competent human driving the AI. This whole notion that the AI can do everything without any oversight is being proven false day after day after day after day. And we'll talk about just one example. This is you sent this over. This is SMB Attorney. You just paid SNC, one of the three most expensive and high-powered law firms in the world, $3,000 per hour to submit AI slop to the court on your behalf.
Yeah, so apparently what happened was, they have to apologize to the court because they were using AI to submit stuff, and it was hallucinating, instances of which artificial, they basically, that's when you put stuff in that isn't there. But they said that they generated non-existent legal sources, misquoted authorities, fabricated case citations. They deeply regret this occurred.
They call it hallucinations. It's not a hallucination. It's a fuck up. It's basically that, again, the AI is not ready for prime time. If the information that's being fed is valid and you're controlling it and you have a human looking at it, I mean, this happens with, you can see these articles and tweets and stuff like that that are being done with AI, that it's obvious there was no oversight because it is misquoting shit, it's making shit up.
And the next thing is, besides, how much money what kind of a price tag can you put on your reputation? They said it's one of the most elite law firms charging all this money per hour, and now they have to admit publicly that they used AI and it messed up. That is a financial, more than just a financial hit, it is a hit to reputation, which might be you can't really put a price on that, but it's extreme. And these companies, because the AI screwed up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it now. If I didn't mean to steal, that computer. I hallucinated that you said I was allowed to have it.
I hallucinated. Oh my god. Yeah, that's just it. Anytime you fuck up now, from even if you do something deliberately.
It's weird how AI that was trained on Brett hallucinates and lies so much that it can't be trusted. Remember, the companies that turn their backs on consumers when they come crawling back. The tech industry seems amazingly capable of wasting immense volumes of finite resources on shit that nobody wants or even asked for. Yes. Yes. Instead of becoming patient with their AI models, they got really greedy, and look what happened. The problem with the data centers is that they suck a ton of electricity off the grid, and then the other people living around it get higher bills. The data centers need to either pay higher rates or leave the people alone, or they should generate their own electricity. Hopefully it stops the fucking data centers. AI companies who sell their products under false pretenses will be sued. That would be the actual bubble exploding. Some people don't know how to spell. Can't wait for the RAM and GPU price to collapse when it happens. It'll be the best time to build a new PC. Interesting. It is good at stealing information from websites, that is all. It can't think. Only anybody who can think for themselves saw this comment. So, yeah, I mean... the AI hype has reached to the point now where people are getting sick of it, want to see it burst. I don't think it would be the end of AI entirely, but like what we mentioned before, I mean, like, remember when people experimented with making nukes? And stuff and like that? Yeah. And yeah, people were not allowed to gather resources to make nukes without it ever being... Well, there's a reason for that, considering how dangerous nuclear weapons can be. And even assembling a nuclear bomb is pretty dangerous. Like, to test the demon core, you have to put some tungsten bricks, I think it was tungsten carbide, those kind of bricks, and you gotta make sure it doesn't come in contact with the demon core. If it does, you're basically fucked. You would have so much radiation poisoning that you wouldn't even last like a week. Basically, if you try to make a nuclear bomb, I'm not gonna tell people how to make a nuclear bomb because I don't know how to make one. But also because it's understandable why they don't want ordinary citizens to have a bunch of nuclear bombs. Because having that amount of power to destroy fucking everything requires so much responsibility. And it's funny how the president who has the nuclear codes right now so far is the most irresponsible one out of all of them. Someone even had to get Donald Trump to... from what I've heard, they had to get Donald Trump to basically just divert them away from the nuclear weapons and stuff like that. Divert them away from the nuclear codes because it seems to me we were at a close call with actual nuclear war to the point where someone had to convince Donald Trump to just back away from the nuclear codes. Because if that didn't happen, we would have basically been fucking dead or in some sort of Stone Age like civilization or something like that. We had a bunch of nuclear close calls and shit like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, mind you, a lot of these videos forecasting like the scary outcomes if AI becomes too powerful. Kind of like the whole nuclear weapons. We managed to stop ourselves from causing all-out nuclear war for like 80 over yeah over 80 years now. You know. It's not true. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Yeah. Many like tech bros were euphoric that AI could just basically like eradicate or enslave humanity and something like that. Seems they pushed it way too far to the point where they were really impatient about it and then it just led to their own demise. Basically. The world can be a scary place. But like when you read something on the internet, you gotta ask yourself, is that really gonna happen? Uh-huh. These days, AI is making everyone live in their own imaginary bubble. Yeah, bubble, bro. when people realize that AI isn't replacing human labor, jobs are being lost. The concept of AI companies are using it as an excuse to lay off people as soon as the bubble pops. Everything is going back to normal. Mm. Note how like the economy, like the AI bubble, just happens to like just halt the downward trajectory of the economic crisis. When that AI bubble bursts, we're going to be in more of a depression and probably the Great Recession, near Great Depression levels of recession probably. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.